great service with a better location to serve you. Call Wheeler Technologies for voice, data, and security needs at 664-TECH. That's 664-8324. And remember, depend on Wheeler Technologies for the current time and temperature every day at 476-1111. Tennessee Alarm Contractor C1750.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall.
Good morning and welcome to Old Town Cleveland here on WOOP FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.woopfm.com. You can call us here this morning at 614-5553. We'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Tell us what's going on, Debbie Moore.
Good morning. It's December the 21st, and we have Ron Moore today. And over on this side, barking like dogs this morning, is Arnold Tarpley and myself. We're going to be talking about your favorite Christmas movies. Now, this may turn into a very serious discussion between Ron and Arnold, because they're both set in their ways and they don't agree. So
on certain things.
On certain things. You'll have to call in and tell us what's your favorite Christmas movie.
We agree on football picks too often because we always tie each other or get close to it. And we would like to say condolences to Renee. Her grandmother passed away last night, and she was 100 years young, I understand, in May.
Yes, 100 years old in May. Had 7 children, 17 grandchildren, 24 great-grandchildren, and 7 great-great-grandchildren.
And her name was?
I always called her Mrs. Chapman.
Grandma Chapman.
Yeah.
Well, and where did she live?
At Lafayette, Georgia. She had been a lifetime resident of the Tryon and Lafayette areas.
Mm-hmm.
So
she was, and Renee was going to be with us this morning, but of course she's with her family this morning, and we understand that. We'd also like to pass along our condolences to the Neely family. Miss Edith Neely, aged 91, passed this week, and was a fine lady and had been around my entire lifetime, and I'm sure that her family will be missing her.
Yes, and I'm sure there's all kind of Christmas programs going on around the area. If you have some kind of special Christmas program, give us a call here this morning. Let us share those with people.
I know that the Polk County Christmas Parade was postponed. One of those real rainy days about a week ago, and so now they're going to have their Christmas parade today at 1 o'clock. And all the information I have is that it's on 411 Highway. So I imagine it's in downtown Benton on 411 Highway.
And I would imagine you can wear shorts today.
That may be true.
It was
Santa may have on his summer suit.
I know I've down at the Bradley Wrestling Invitational Tournament. I'm responsible for taking care of the referees, keeping them with water and things they need. And so I left all the waters in my trunk of my car last night saying, they'll be good and cold first thing this morning. Well, they were anything but cold this morning because it's 61 degrees outside. So I had to ice down my waters before I took them over there this morning. So let's see, I had something to say about John Cook, but I can't remember what it is now.
He's writing a new song.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It's to the tune of Feliz Navidad, and it's called Police Got My Dad. So we'll have to see how that turns out.
Well, maybe
sounds like a new Christmas classic to me.
Maybe John will call us and sing that to us here a little later.
Or
maybe he won't. Who knows? But
well, and two, I'd like to know any neighborhoods that are decorated. I know that we have on our Facebook page, the Covenant Community or it looks like a subdivision.
Coveted Hills.
Coveted Hills. Where
Coveted
is
Hills.
that, Arnold?
That's over off Freewell Road, up above, just south of Rolling Hills, like you're going to Prospect School.
Well, I understand that they've had a community decoration, and so I would think tonight at dark would be a good time to drive through that neighborhood. And
there's
see
a
those
house
lights.
up right off of right off
Peerless?
Peerless Road there that has, you can turn your car radio to there.
It's 107.5, and we were there Wednesday night.
All right.
And there's one down on Blue
Springs.
Springs Road.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they have music there too.
I
so.
noticed that last night I was coming from Signature, seeing my mom, and there was one over on coming past Cleveland State there, Norman Chapel Road, right at the crest of the hill before you get back over to Peerless Road. And it was kind of an old-fashioned looking one. They had the big Santas and all that out in the yard. That was a fun one to look at.
Another one of those dying things that's not going to be around much longer is those outdoor Christmas things. I remember when we grew up, they were everywhere, and Mr. Caldwell out over on Blackburn Road, he always had a huge thing, and always sit out there in his Santa suit and give out things to the kids.
Need to make a correction. That's Cumberland Hills off Freewell Road. Covenant Hills is out off Benton Pike,
Okay, tell
About-
me, where is that?
almost out to Jackie Evans' place on the right,
Yeah.
just before you
Okay.
get there.
Benton Pike. Okay.
That
Too many
sounded right and sounded wrong at the same
Yeah,
time. I couldn't figure out.
Too many subdivisions around town
Oh,
for me to
yeah.
remember them all that clearly, but Covenant
Between
Hills.
Ron and John, they usually know where everything is in Cleveland, in Bradley County,
And,
or it can get you fairly close.
And I've got some homework for you. We need to know about the Fryer family down on Owl Hollow Road. They used to own property there, and the Freddie Fryer, who was the dirt track racing legend around this area here. I didn't realize his grandmother owned a lot of that property down and lived on Owl Hollow Road in McDonald.
He lives in Missouri now, and he looked at me and says, "How's things in Owl Holler?" And I thought, well, how do you know about Owl Holler?
But he don't really know where the property was or anything. I said, well, maybe we can find out where it was and send it to him.
And let Freddie come. When Freddie comes to town, we can drive him by there.
Okay. Well, that's got to be a neat trick because Owl Holler actually goes over to Hamilton County a little bit.
He says it's in the Bradley County portion.
Okay. So
but
it's
now he was a small child then. He may have, not realized it was in Hamilton County.
A good part of Owl Holler Road is in Bradley County, but there is a section there at the very south end that kind of gets over into the Hamilton County.
Yeah. And a lot of it got split by interstates and different things.
Yeah.
And he said it was near the old Louderbout Springs Hotel.
Yeah, he was talking about seeing the
Resort.
old foundation of the hotel.
Okay, that has to be on
They
the
could
side
been-
that would be in Bradley County
Well, it
on
could
the
be.
ridge.
They could own both sides too.
Yeah.
Could have been in both counties there. So,
Oh, yeah.
Ron, before we get started with the Christmas movies, why don't you tell everyone about our big adventure last weekend?
we had the opportunity to go down to Dawsonville, Georgia, to the North Georgia NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Have you been there, Arnold?
I've been by there.
Well, you need to go back.
They had their Hall of Fame induction, and they inducted 5 new people, which included Freddie Fryer, which is, if you knew anything about dirt track racing in the Cleveland area, he raced in Cleveland a lot on Saturday night. Friday nights he was down at Boyd's, but he raced all over the South and eventually went on and worked in NASCAR.
And his brothers,
Harold
Billy
Fryer.
and Harold, also raced, and Junior, which is a boy of one of them. And so the Fryer family's been, as long as there's been wheels invented, they've been going fast.
Freddie there for a long time was one of the instructors at the Kyle Petty
Driving school.
driving
Driving school.
experience. Yeah. He was he did that. So
I imagine he has some stories to tell about that, but we just didn't have time to ask him.
but we
Yeah.
got to interview him and some other drivers that we already. Charles Barrett, who was inducted, we already had him interviewed, and we met a new guy named
Charlie Bagwell, he was 95 years old. He had white hair down to his shoulders and probably sideburns he's been growing for about 40 years. I didn't know who he was, but when I saw him in the crowd, I knew I wanted to talk to him. And I went over and I was amazed because I was sure that he was in his early 70s probably. He ran down in Daytona. His very first race was at Daytona, if that tells you
Oh,
anything. You
yeah.
know, you just kind of, hey, I think I'd like to drive fast. And he went 116 miles an hour on the sand, but they wouldn't let him race because he didn't have any safety equipment in his car.
And, well, of course, we were there, and we seen Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Yeah.
Bill Elliott was there, and Bill still lives in the area. And his son Chase was honored as the driver of the year.
Yeah.
down there. So Chases and won a couple races, Pocono and one up in Canada. And for you wrestling fans, not just high school wrestling, but if you're a WWE guy, Rick Steiner is in town. Rick Steiner's son is wrestling at the Bradley Invitational High School Wrestling Tournament down here. So Rick Steiner's in the crowd and quite prominent when his son wrestles out on the floor, jumping up and down and yelling like one of the crazy fans who watches him wrestle.
I'm
so
sure.
that's what I said to him. I said, "You act like one of your fans," and he just sort of got tickled. So, but if you want to see good high school wrestling, or if you want to see Rick Steiner,
Yeah.
he'll be in the crowd. But he won't have on his tights or anything
No.
today. So.
Interesting thing you just talk about Freddie Fryer and everything. I was listening to Whoop on Wheels Tuesday night, and they had him on the air for about 10,
Yes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes,
'cause,
David went over with us. David Swafford went over with us, and he's been on there before. And David went up and introduced himself, and it was a nice little conversation between him. And he told David at that time he'd call in. And then there were some others that they worked on. Well, they asked Bill Elliott. I'm not sure they're going to have to schedule him a little bit more. But that was really nice of Freddie to call in.
Yeah, that's an interesting little interview. I got to listen to that
He's
one.
a character.
Yeah.
Well, did he talk any about the Cleveland Speedway?
I talked a little bit, then they also talked about the Moccasin Bend and Lake Winnepesaukah,
Right, yeah,
and
that-
stuff.
Well, the exciting thing about our documentary, Arnold, is that through these connections that we've made from our friends in Georgia, we have 1954 film. Now, Moccasin Bend Racetrack was only open 54 and 55. We have 1954 color movies
Oh, wow. That's
from
cool.
Moccasin Bend. I was so excited, and I was practically talking to myself. Ron had to come all the way through the house to find out what I was doing because I was going wacko over it. But we have film from Birmingham, which didn't excite me quite as much, but it cracks me up as the cars go by. You see the hog barns in the background because
Yeah.
apparently it's at the,
Early days of Smoky Mountain.
we have
racetrack.
Smoky Mountain, which is probably my favorite video that anyone's given us because and some fellas that we contacted up there that just love the sport let us have some old home movies. And when the cars come driving by to try to get more speed, they stripped off the back doors and the trunks, and so
Yeah.
you can see all the way through the cars. You can see the infield through the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's started to come out in April. And for you folks who followed us on Facebook, the Cleveland Speedway was not sold this past Thursday. That doesn't mean it's not going to be. The courts, the bankruptcy courts are still in some type of thing. And there is a possibility that it could still be run as a racetrack or it could be apartment buildings. But the track will be sold to somebody probably in January sometime. And then according to what that person or people do with it. And right now there's no local person that we understand from Cleveland is involved in purchasing it at all. Now that could change at any time, and
the bankruptcy courts keep things very quiet.
And
so
they
we
will,
really
they will
don't know.
sell it for whoever gives the most money towards
Yep.
the debt.
Yes.
So someone could buy it and decide they don't like it. Someone could buy it and say they want to try it as a racetrack. Maybe we can find Kenny Wallace or Tony Stewart will come in here and want to buy him a small dirt track racing track, and so that would be good for the community. And it's been there since April 1954. So we'll try to keep you informed of what we know of that. Like I say, we're not privy of all the inside part of it. We just sort of slip around and find out what information. Since
Doc German corrected me on that date.
what did he say?
He said it was March the 25th, 1954. Apparently, the grand opening was in April.
Oh, okay.
And
All
so
right.
the very first day he raced over there in an organized race where people paid to see it was in March.
And there will be an exhibit at the Cleveland Museum opening up in April of next year about dirt track racing. So there's going to be, we know there'll be a dirt track car there and some other things we can't tell you about yet, but look forward to that. Let's talk about some Christmas movies and Christmas things going on. And now, do you open your gifts on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
You're at Christmas Day.
Sometimes I was told to go back to bed. It was too early, but it was always Christmas Day.
Well, now, we always opened our personal gifts, family gifts, Christmas Eve. Now, Santa came on, you had to wait till Christmas morning.
It was everything.
Everything, okay. Now, we went, and as particularly as we got older, we would, that, and our family opens on Christmas Eve, and then other families do it Christmas Day, and some. So when do you put your tree up?
We generally put the tree up. Well, as a kid, it was about a week or a week and a half before Christmas because we always got a live tree.
Mm-hmm.
And so you delayed it as long as you could because
cut down
of
the fire hazard.
Fire hazard.
Because, boy, some years those poor old things got dry. But did you ever notice how you went out into the field and you got that little cedar tree and it was perfect out there in the field?
Mm-hmm.
And when you'd cut it down and you bring it into the house, it'd have a big hole on the top of it on one side and a big hole in the bottom of it. And that's what icicles were for. You
Yeah.
put on enough of those little shiny icicles and it wasn't
You know,
noticeable.
if you take aluminum foil and run it through your shredder at the office, you make great tinsel.
Oh, yeah.
Need a new shredder then.
Yeah,
We always put up our tree on December the 12th, our live tree. That was my sister's birthday. And then my dad always insisted that we kept it up into the old New Year, which was about a week into the New Year. So it was up about 3 weeks, and it was a fire hazard by then.
We left one up one time, like March. We just didn't have time to take it down.
No, I told Ron he could have a live tree if he'd put it up and take it down.
I took it
He
down.
put it up, and I took the decorations off of it, and it sat in our house for about a month.
I think ours is pretty much up about a week before Christmas, or generally the weekend, either the weekend before, or if it's like this year, Christmas Day is real close, maybe 2 weekends before. And it's pretty well down before New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Now, it shouldn't go up before Thanksgiving, though. Yeah.
today with the artificials, ours goes up generally the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
That's okay. That's allowable.
And it'll come down probably New Year's Day
Yeah.
or the next weekend.
Yeah, the new artificial, you snap it 3 parts and it's down and it's gone. you
Yeah,
know,
and this tree we got now, we don't even have to fool with the lights. You know, they're all built in.
Yes, they're all built into it now. That's just a bah humbug.
What movie is it that the dad spits on the lights and screws it in? Is that the Toy Story?
Yeah, he does that in there. All right, Arnold,
Yeah.
what? Arnold,
I've screwed a few of those light bulbs in myself over the
Yeah,
years.
and you had to test every one of
oh,
them.
yeah, the old days when if one light bulb burned out, they were all out, and you had to sit there and test every one.
We
of
have
them.
a set of the real old outdoor lights that have the huge bulbs on them. I'm kind of afraid to plug it up anymore just to see if they work, but they're so funny to look at.
All right, Arnold. Number 1 all-time favorite Christmas movie. What do you think it is?
Oh, I'm probably going to go a little bit against the grain with most people on this one.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say Miracle on 34th Street.
So, I've never been a huge Miracle on 34th Street type of guy. It's a Wonderful Life. That's my Christmas movie.
And I think most people agree with you, and it's a great movie. It's just for some reason I've just always liked Miracle on 34th a
You
little
like
bit.
the old one or the new one?
I actually like the old one.
Okay.
I like
do too.
I like the older one better. Yeah, I have to admit. Yeah.
Okay, the movie that I think that tells the Christmas story better than any other movie or TV show or anything is Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Oh, that was on the other
That if
night.
you're talking about telling the story about Christmas,
Well, Linus,
that's short and to the point and in 30 minutes, and it's entertaining. I love the music and I love the characters and I love how they help tell
Charlie
what's
Brown,
really important
that's
about
what
Christmas.
is about.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Linus gets up there and lays down the law.
Yes.
that's right. So that is true. Now I went online and looked and says what's the favorite Christmas movies of all time, and man, at the different lists that come out there, and there's some movies that they had on the list that I just never thought as of Christmas movies.
They have Christmas scenes.
Die Hard.
No, I don't think that's.
Well, that's done during Christmas time at
Yeah.
a Christmas party.
It's a Christmas associated
Yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah.
not a Christmas movie per se, but yeah, it's set in Christmas time.
And then Stalag 17, one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies, William Holden. That's done in a prison, a German prison camp at Christmas time, and they're decorating the tree and singing
Yeah.
Christmas song and everything. I never thought that as a Christmas movie, either, but it made the top 10 in some lists.
That was the funny thing, because I looked at some of those lists yesterday too, and I'm sitting there going, "That's
There's
considered
some
a Christmas
really
movie."
scary movies out
Yeah,
that are based on
Well,
Christmas. I don't
maybe-
like those.
Maybe we get my son to call. He knows the worst Christmas movie ever, and he actually got a copy of it, and we watched it, and it was right. It was the worst Christmas. It was something about Santa Claus saves Mars or something like that.
Oh.
It's the Martians or something.
It was really, really.
It was a cartoon. It was bad.
It was really bad.
Of course, in modern times, I think a lot of people say the Christmas Vacation is a lot of people's favorite.
You know
now.
that I have to see Christmas Vacation during the season there to just sort of get in the mood. Cousin Eddie always does it for me. You know.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that last night myself.
Well, you know, I when we get these big family gatherings, I sit around and go, "Yep, there's Cousin Eddie, and there's the kid with the lip fungus. You know,
Yeah.
there's somebody in every family.
We got somebody calling. Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, Mr. Ron. How you doing?
Hey there, Bullet. How are you?
Did you get my message on your phone last night?
I did. I must have missed you by 5 minutes.
That's all right. I just want to wish you both Merry Christmas and your family.
The same to you. Well, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, I call in on Lights, Camera, in Cleveland Monday and won a car wash. I'm going to have to go with It's a Wonderful Life, but I actually like that Die Hard, Bruce Willis movie.
So you think that's a Christmas movie?
Well, I've just watched that so much, that Wonderful Life. It's just more action in that Die Hard movie.
Well, now there is a little bit of action in that
Well,
movie.
we'll have to agree with you there.
I want to give best wishes to a friend of mine in the hospital, Keith Beatty. I've known him 50 years. He's in pretty bad shape, I heard, and he's in Chattanooga, and I just want to give a shout out to him. He's been a friend of mine, and I hope he gets better and gets out of the hospital.
Is it now that Keith from used to be at Charleston High School?
Yes, sir. He was actually on your show one time, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Keith.
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're sorry to hear that
That's,
he's under the weather.
That's Jason Hillebrand's used to be on here.
Yeah.
That's his father-in-law.
I heard he had to have emergency surgery, and he's in ICU right now, I think.
Well, maybe that's just part of the routine there.
Yeah,
Well,
it
let's
is.
hope for the best. It's pretty amazing what they can do now.
I heard somebody say yesterday or day before something that he was getting better, but that's the only thing that I've heard since they
Hadn't heard
mentioned.
that.
And you was talking about Rick Steiner a while ago. I used to see him a lot, and him and his brother used to wrestle a lot in Chattanooga, and from what you said, he's in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, he's down at Bradley Central High School. Just about an hour before now. I seen him down there this morning already. His son's is a high school wrestler for Etowah, Georgia High School, and a very good wrestler too.
Well, I'm gonna have to go and see that rascal.
Yeah, well, he's over there, and he's just a big old boy sitting there in the stands. Unless you knew it was Rick Steiner, you would just walk by and it'd just be another face in the crowd.
Well, that would probably be me because I hadn't saw him in years. But anyway, I just want to wish you and Debbie and Arnold all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All right,
you.
bye bye.
We'll see.
Well, we were so proud.
There's one vote for Die Hard.
There we
Yeah.
go. Our son went to a costume party last night where he met his new wife's, most of her family for the first time, dressed as the lamp from the Christmas Story.
Oh, boy.
That's a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Fishnet hose and all.
a 6'4" kid in fish hose just doesn't get
Fishnet hoses doesn't do it.
Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello, Ron and Debbie.
Hey, Miss Ella, how are you?
I'm fine.
Well, so did you go out and have some Christmas cheer last night?
No, I'm waiting till New Year's.
Oh, saving it all up.
Saving
Hey.
up for energy.
Well, I don't get paid till New Year's Day, so Eve. So.
Right. So what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, I like that one where the little girl that didn't believe in Christmas got Macy's, I think.
It's
The Miracle.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, I like that one
I
too.
couldn't think of the name.
Right.
But, a long time ago, we didn't have TV, so I don't have those special movies, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you always get coal in your stocking?
No, I can't remember having anything in my stocking. But I guess I did, but I remember one time my mom wrapped us up a gift, and I accidentally seen it before she wrapped it up.
Accidentally seen it? Yeah, we know.
Well, she was showing it to my boyfriend, and it was a birthstone ring. I'll never forget that ring. And then we got a little Red Riding Hood doll when it was smaller. So,
She's showing it to your boyfriend.
yeah, I was about 17.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like 4 and doesn't have a man.
Started early.
No, my mama wouldn't let us start early. She was strict.
But you caught up, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, not all that did. My sister stuck out. So, anyway, I had a good life growing up.
Well, Miss Ellie, you have a good Merry Christmas. It's good talking to you.
Okay.
We'll talk to you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I think the hard thing for me to realize is that the Christmas Story is 30 years old this year.
Yeah. And that's another good one, too,
Mm-hmm.
And you'll shoot your eye out. Good morning, you're live on Old Town Cleveland.
I'll not shoot my out.
Okay. Well, you almost.
Bicycles have been known to kill people.
Yeah. So, are you gonna sing your song this morning?
No, it's a work in progress.
Okay.
Actually, police got my dad's as far as I've got. I got to work him leaving the bar and the dice game in back of the White Spot
And country club beer.
Yeah, country club beer.
Black helicopters.
Well, now, and I played a little earlier.
Merry Christmas
from
the
the
family.
That's one of my favorites there too.
You should play that Tennessee Tea song, "Eggnog in a Christmas."
Yeah, eggnog. One of these days you'll learn that says "and a Christmas tree."
No, I think it's in the Christmas tree.
Just according to how much you had to drink.
1951.
What about it?
Star Sims, Kathleen Harrison, A Christmas Carol.
Well, that was on Thursday night.
It was released in Great Britain as just Scrooge, but here in the States they released it as A Christmas Carol. That is the absolute best.
So you're not a diehard fan then?
Oh, God, no. No. About as far as I stray from traditional Christmas movies is Bill Murray's Scrooge, and that's just because they did such a good take on it that, you know.
Well, what about Christmas Vacation?
Oh, Christmas Vacation's tradition at our house. We put our tree up.
Christmas Vacation is his story.
Yeah, we put our tree up on Thanksgiving Day, and Thanksgiving night we kick off our Christmas season with a Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That's our family tradition. You can't start the Christmas season without.
Well, John, that used to be our tradition until our VCR and our old DVD player died, and we got a Blu-ray, and we can't seem to play anything with sound now. It's just not the same without sound.
Well, now, do you still have your Cousin Eddie sweater and Dickie?
Oh, God, yeah. Lord, yeah. Whip it out on Christmas Eve. Get my reindeer.
You know, I wanted some of those little reindeer cups, but they only sell them in crystal. You can't buy them in plastic. And they were like $40 for two of them. And I thought, no, I don't think it's not that funny.
Everybody's going to the red Solo cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing says Christmas better than Cousin Eddie rolling up in that RV.
Well, John,
emptying out the crapper into the sewer line.
I know this is not a movie, but you and I were involved in a Christmas story back 20 years ago now. Tell that story real quick.
Oh, goodness, man, I don't even.
Did it include party girls?
No, it's
back when Ron and I owned a limousine service, one of our many entrepreneurial
disasters.
Yeah. No. We made several million on that deal, I believe. Yeah. But we were doing. We were supposed to be helping with Mackenzie's. Always every year did this big shopping spree for the kids up at the Cleveland Mall, Bradley Square Mall, and we would volunteer every year to go out and pick them up, and we would use the vans over at the county's vans that they use for the high school, or our personal vehicles. And I think what had happened, you correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't have the vans ready.
It was 6 degrees and they wouldn't start.
Yeah, that's right. They wouldn't start, and everybody was panicking because we counted on several of those to take those kids shopping. And Ron and I just said, well, heck, we'll run down and grab a limousine. We took that limousine and started out and started picking up all the kids for our shopping trip. Of course, we were gods, not the god, but a god, and come rolling up in the limousine to take kids shopping and all. But there was this one particular little girl that, and I'm trying to remember her name, Ron.
I can say her address, but I can't think of her name.
Seems like it was Faith or Angel or something along that line. Her name really struck me, but when we picked her up and after we brought her back to drop her off, I guess it was her mother or grandmother that came out and just teared all up and the little girl had some kind of ailment. I don't recall what it was, and it's been such a long time ago. But she said that her fantasy, her little dream had always been to ride in a limousine, a big car like that. And it was just, with Ron and I, heck, we're old burly guys, but heck, we teared up too. We went ahead and told them to get back in the car. I think we put her and maybe a couple of her friends or somebody, and we just hauled out across Cleveland on a limousine ride.
Yeah, and the Crystal was real tickled when we pulled up with the Crystal to order crystals for the back seat.
Well, heck, I was tickled too. I love a good crystal.
Well, I think the little girl had cancer, and she had like 3 or 4 months to live, and that was her. She says before she died, she'd wanted to ride in a limousine.
Yeah, and all I know is we were going to drive her around that limousine all day. We didn't until she was ready to go home. We didn't care.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know if we were Christmas angels or if you could ever consider John and I angels, but we may have been that day.
I've never heard anybody put us in that context, but you can believe what you believe, but we were there for a reason that day. I do believe.
Yeah, that was a good Christmas for all of us.
That's what you call a good day.
Well, hey, thanks for calling, John. And did you have all those kids over last night? That means yes, doesn't
it? I'm surprised you can't hear the one running up and down the hall right now saying Papa John. Matter of fact, his name's Cooper.
Mm-hmm. What's his favorite song?
He likes Papa John. His favorite song is Seven Spanish Angels.
How old is he?
He is. How old is Cooper? He's 4.
He's 4 and 7 Spanish Angels. And how many times did you sing that, John?
Angels. Well, I had to print it offline because I didn't know it, but let's just say I did it 6 or 7 times. Don't know why he's hooked on that song. He just is. A few things that I found out about him, though, is he likes to stay up to about 3 a.m., and he wanted to sleep in the same bed with Papa John, and he's got really, really cold feet.
So,
yep.
Merry Christmas.
I'm cranking on about 3.5 hours sleep this morning. I'm going to run this kid ragged today, though. I'm going to make him drop like a rock around 9 p.m.
I think. Well, I think
cough syrup. Put him to sleep.
I think you will. I think you will fall before he will.
Oh, I guarantee you. And we hadn't even got to Taylor Bug yet. Christmas Eve, so and school's out. So Brock that lives next door. Matter of fact, you just come over any day next week, and you can borrow some kids.
I don't have any. I'll come by and get that DVD a little later.
Thanks, John.
Did you show that to the crowd and entertain them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
And I can tell you how you get that thing to endless loop.
How's that?
Not sure if I can tell you on the air.
Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead. There's a little under options. There's a little button you click that says Endless Jones. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
You can call us here at 614-5553. We're talking about Christmas movies and just Christmas. We're just having a fun day here on Whoop. And so far, we've got a vote for the Christmas Carol, Die Hard, Miracle on 34th Street, and It's a Wonderful Life.
A good place to go to see Christmas decorations would be Biltmore Hotel in Nashville. They have beautiful decorations there. Opryland, not Biltmore, Biltmore Estate in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Opryland Hotel, and in Gatlinburg's always a fun place to go drive around this time of year.
We actually have 2 votes for It's a Miracle on 34th Street.
I'm not keeping up with it.
Yeah.
You and Miss Ella.
Yeah.
You and Miss Ella have a lot in common. Go ahead, call you live on Whole Town Cleveland.
Hello, Ron.
Hey.
Hey, Bernice, what's up, sister?
Well, Elizabeth is in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Sister Libby is in Erlanger Hospital.
Oh, no.
I don't know what's wrong with her, but we're just hoping she'll be all right.
Well, we do too.
Come, our best thoughts and prayers to her.
Is that Arnold Tarpley?
That's Arnold. You want to have something to say to Arnold?
Yeah. Tell him my husband said hello.
Well, hello back to him as well.
Yeah. Ed Wade.
Yeah, y'all have a Merry Christmas, too.
Have a Merry Christmas, too.
too, all of you. And have a blessed Christmas.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Heidi.
Heidi. I hadn't thought about
well, I
Heidi.
hadn't even thought about that one.
Remember Heidi?
Yes, I do.
I
And
need to
interrupted
watch
the
that
ball
again.
game one time.
I love that. It's a story about that little girl hunting her daddy on Christmas.
Yeah, it sure.
Yep.
Boy, I had never even thought of that. That's a good one.
That's my favorite. I've still got it.
All right.
I love y'all.
I love you too. Bye bye.
Christmas.
I'd never thought. I had just not had Heidi. Hadn't made the top 10 list. Of course, there was some really other ones. Now, what about Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad?
That was different.
It was a good movie though.
It's Sinbad's face. You know, that he makes that when he's getting ready to take off running or something crazy.
And they've mentioned Elf and what was the movie where Danny DeVito tried to do all the lights?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Well, I think your information department, see if you can find out somebody knows whether that parade in Benton's going to be today or not, or whether it's a go or a no-go.
It is a go at 1 o'clock, Mr. Ed.
Well,
All the information I have is 411 Highway, 1 o'clock.
But we don't know if it's going north or south.
it's going north to the bank and turn and go back up on the next street and come back out.
All righty,
right,
sounds
so you
good.
know
It's
more
going
about
it's going to make the loop around Benton.
Got the old Mercury cranked up and ready to go.
There you go.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Yeah,
So if you're wanting to see a parade today, it'd be a good day. It's 61 degrees, so
and you can probably see it twice if you hustle around a
that's
little
right.
bit.
Yeah.
Just run over to the next block.
Well, now you used to do that here in Cleveland. As it went north on Ocoee, you'd run as it passed you on Ocoee. You'd run over past the courthouse and see it come back on Broad.
Exactly. Well, or you could do like I did. I stayed at the monument, so I saw it coming, turning, and going.
Yeah, that's
I saw it 3 times.
See the front and the back.
Yeah.
I know we've had a lot of people on our Facebook page ask about whether or not the Christmas parade was going to show on WTMB, and they had a technical difficulty and did not get that recorded. So if anybody out there by chance happened to record the entire parade, WTNB would like to borrow your footage,
Now,
please.
They got all the audio.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the audio very, very good. They don't have any video. So if you just had your camera there and take it down to WTMB, they'll put your video on and put their audio over the top of it and have a parade. Of course,
So far, no one has recorded the whole parade.
Nah.
We hope that they were shooting it at the same place we're there, because they could say, well, here comes the fire trucks, and the fire trucks may have already passed WTMB, so it could be a little off there, but get the ideal.
Well, I hated that because I think it's just a tradition here in town that's
You never know what's going to go wrong when you're doing video and television.
absolutely.
Especially live.
Live, yes. Good morning, you live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello.
Howdy.
I just now got tuned in. I'm at home now. I was on the road listening, but the Christmas movies, I guess my favorite, I'd have to go with It's a Wonderful Life. However, I like The Christmas Story awfully well, and a movie that I wasn't aware of until actually just, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago, caught it on TV, a movie called It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Kind of a comedy. It's got Charlie Ruggles in it and Gail Storm, and so forth. And Charlie Ruggles was I liked him in anything that I ever saw him in, and he was the voice on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show's Fractured Fairy Tales. He was the narrator on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's. It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Like I say, it's a good one that I didn't know about till sort of recently.
Neil, is your phone number in the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call you and let you come over and watch this new racing footage we have.
I could probably do that.
I figured you'd come in about 3 seconds when I told you it's 1954.
Yeah.
And good close-up pictures of cars.
Like I say, I was listening in the car, and it was kind of coming in and coming out a little bit. Which track did you say it was? Moccasin Bend?
Moccasin Bend.
Okay.
Have quite a bit of footage from there.
Okay.
Birmingham.
Nashville
Lakewood.
Nashville Fairgrounds.
And Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Lakewood was a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume there was a lake in the center of it.
There was.
Okay. Well, when I was watching the video that the Fryer Brothers gave me last night, I realized that there was a lake in the center of that. That would you make a bad turn, you swim.
Yeah, I mean, I never attended a race there, but I just know about it, and of course I've seen stuff on the internet. I think the very last race they raced there was 1978, but
yeah.
Anyway,
it had been going since the 1930s. It started out as a horse track.
Right.
And matter of fact, they ran horses and cars there for a long time.
Yeah, and they even NASCAR ran some races there too.
Yes, they did.
Did you ever remember the track down at Lake Winnepesaukah?
No, I don't. No, that was very interesting. I didn't know anything about it.
Well, we haven't found a picture of it yet. Hopefully, Buddy Rhodes is from that family there. He should be. We're going to try to see if we can't find some from him.
Yeah.
So, but we've actually we've been looking for that. One of our Mike Bell, the historian from down out of Georgia, has mentioned it to us, and
right.
and then Freddie Fryer talked to us the other night down in Dawsonville. He was talking about going early to Alton Park and going over to Lake Winnepesaukah to watch racing.
Yeah, now I remember Billy talking about the track at Alton Park when he was on the program.
We have still pictures, and I may have. Seems like we have a little bit of footage from there too.
We have Alton Park, and there was Warner Park, and then Mexican Bend, and then Lake Winnepesaukah tracks, and then there's I think one out in Soddy Daisy. So there used to be a lot of dirt tracks.
Yeah, they sprung up everywhere after World War II in the early 50s.
Right.
They were everywhere.
And they're just about all gone, Neil.
Yeah, there was one up between Etowah and Athens. I think it was called
Midway.
Yeah. All right, enjoying the show.
All righty, Neil. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
On that venue, the racetrack I was really surprised that I never knew about till I was working in that area was Ray County. There's one up next to Spring City.
Yes, there sure is, yeah. They were everywhere, and as we talked earlier, that they may not be as many. I think the one in North Georgia is. We understand that the guy who had been leasing it is not going to renew his lease, so we don't know what the status of that racetrack will be.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, historian Mike Bell, he talks about all the tracks that they used to be. Pretty long segment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Talking about he just off the top of his head could name the tracks that were closed and who ran them, and it's pretty good. So we're gonna, like I say, some people love dirt tracks, some hate it. It's just an interesting history in our in the South or anywhere in the country. But if they had wheels, that people have raced it, and those old guys down there in Dawsonville figured out how to make money out of it, and that's how come we have NASCAR today.
Yeah, so. That is true.
We're back off on racing again.
Well, yeah, that's fine. It's we
ran it off in the ditch again.
We're listening. You're listening to Whoop FM 99.9, and we're talking about Christmas movies here today and Christmas things. So, call in and tell us what your favorite Christmas movie is.
I think we have to talk about Home Alone too.
Home Alone. Well, God,
yeah.
I just can't get into that. It's a Christmas movie myself.
Well,
it is.
Well, you're gonna have to put that down as Renee's favorite.
Well, we had to be careful at our house because Ashley was quite young when that came out, and so she decided to booby trap our whole house. So we had to kind of watch when you open the linen closet, things would fall out at you and stuff because she was sure that was the right thing to do. I think that was probably the early 1990s.
Yeah,
that's when that one came out.
One of the things I found really interesting was the number of times the Christmas Carol has been released by different people. Different actors.
Well, even Disney did the Mickey Mouse Scrooge story like that too.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it just when you just
that
go
Mickey
down,
Mouse, he's some actor,
Yeah, but when you went down the list, looked at the Christmas Carol, and you started looking down the list, it is amazing how many times it's been done and how many people have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mr. Magoo done the Scrooge too.
Yeah.
You can't forget the Scrooge.
I thought he was Scrooge when I was little.
Mr. Magoo.
Of course, you had the original, and I'm trying to remember what his name was, but then you got the version George C. Scott did.
Yeah.
Which George Scott was a tremendous actor.
Alistar Sims, is that his name? Alistar Sims.
And then recently, Patrick Stewart did a version and did a very good job with it. So been really interesting to see all the names involved.
And
with
then, of course, Bill Murray done Scrooge.
Of course, he had to make it
It's amazing
funny.
to me. I popped it up here real fast. Charles Dickens wrote that.
Yes.
In 1843, and how that can be. It's one of those timeless stories that it's just different people just made it to the times.
Now there's one that it was a TV movie, and then they made it into a movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now that's got to be in my top 10 of Christmas movies.
That was on last night as well.
Yeah,
now I really like the cartoon of Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
But then Jim Carrey and them, they did pretty interesting.
Yeah, both versions was on last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, you're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, I asked Arnold if he remembers this movie because it's been on my mind. I can't figure out what it is. I'll tell you who was starring. John Snyder and the guy that played Luke Duke was his brother. They actually drove a truck to this town. They had a load of Christmas stuff and food. You remember that movie, Arnold?
I remember the movie, and they got stuck in the snow.
Yeah, and that woman had a baby in a manger, I think.
Yeah, they was kind of one of those things where they was kind of to the point how they was going to get out and not sure they was going to get out anymore, and a little miracle happened. But I'm like you, I can't remember the name of it.
What was the movie where the three guys tried to rob a town and it turned into a Christmas thing for them?
I knew if anybody remember that Arnold would because he's just a guy of all knowledge.
That's right. Arnold knows it all.
I don't know about knowing it all. If I knew it all, I probably would be a whole lot better off than what I am.
I hope that comes on again this year because I'd like to see that again.
I don't know the name of that one. Someone will help us out with that one, but
it was a very good little movie.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that or anything. But yeah, there's another movie that had three guys that were going to rob a bank or a store or something, and then they got sort of stuck in town, and it turned out to be Christmas.
Was there ever an episode of Mayberry that was Christmas? I'm sure there was.
Oh yeah, the old man who actually was like the Scrooge, and
yeah,
he got himself arrested so he could come to the Christmas
party. Oh, I remember
party.
that. Yes.
Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, morning, Ron and Deb.
Good morning,
Joe. That was John Wayne and the three Godfathers.
John Wayne and the three what?
Godfathers.
John Wayne and the three Godfathers. All right.
That was the name of the movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've got it here at the house.
All right. And that was a Christmas movie?
Well, it, like you say, it started out as they was going to rob the bank.
Oh, okay.
And it ended up being a Christmas movie. Well, at the end of it. You have to watch it. I don't want to tell you what it's all about.
You don't want to ruin it for us.
Don't spoil it for us.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, at the movies, when you worked at the Princess Theater, do you remember some of the Christmas movies that were there?
Oh, no.
Well, you know what I was kind of...
Christmas.
White Christmas and... See, what I was kind of thinking as a kid, I don't remember that many new Christmas things. And then it seems like in the mid-'60s, they came out with all the cartoons like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the one that had the little abominable snowman in it.
With Burl Ives.
And Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty Snowman.
And then they did those little clay animated things. And then in the early 80s, they started making the Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation and all those.
That Christmas Story, I just don't like it.
Oh. It just kind of reminds me of my family for some reason.
I like that leg lamp, though. I've been trying to find me one.
But I just couldn't stand that movie.
Oh, no. Well, which one do you like, Joe?
Well, I kind of like all them old cartoons.
Oh, like the Rudolph ones and...
Yeah, I'm still a kid at heart.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Somebody wrote the Rudolph song, and then it turned into everything Rudolph, like now. I mean,
Yeah, I've been watching that eye on TV. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
For the last month, they've been on Saturdays and Sundays. They've been playing Christmas movies on there, and they're pretty good movies. But once you've seen them, you don't want to see them over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, same old ones.
Now, the Christmas Story will be on for 24 hours on Christmas Eve.
Well, it'd do without me then.
But now, I've got to see A Wonderful Life. That's my favorite.
I'll bring you that movie down and let you watch.
I need to see that one.
It was John Wayne, Ward Bond, Harry Carey Jr., and like you say, they started out to rob a bank, and it ends up into a Christmas story.
All right. I knew there's one out there like that.
But I'll break it down and let you.
All righty. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye.
You can call us here at 614-5553. You can tell us about your
I just don't remember
favorite
John
Christmas
Wayne
movie,
being any Christmas movies.
and vote on which one you think that. So we've got a little bit of everything. So
Alvin
far.
and the Chipmunks always did good Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Well, now, what was the one with Burl Ives and they had the abominable snowman? What?
Oh, that was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
was that?
That's right. Yeah. That was
on the other night.
That was a good.
And then, you have movies that sort of have like a Christmas setting in it somewhere, like the Glenn Miller story from 1954
Yeah.
that stops with his last concert
and,
there. And
Christmas
then he
in
dies.
Connecticut.
And Funny Farm had some Christmas scenes
yeah,
in
and
it.
it's
And Lady and the Tramp, the cartoon, the Disney cartoon.
so does Stalag 17. I never thought it was a Christmas
But
movie.
there's some movies out there that are popular that I don't really care for, like the Nightmare Before Christmas in 1993. I
Yeah,
never could quite get into all those Halloween
Yeah.
zombie-looking characters doing Christmas.
Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, what about Christmas with the Griswolds?
That's pretty good.
Is that one different from Christmas Vacation? Isn't it? I never get too much of Cousin Eddie.
Vacation, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably the same one there. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of Christmas Vacation with the Griswolds?
Where they wanted all the lights to come on and they blow the fuse or something.
Or the little grandma had flipped the one switch off in the room where the freezer was, and that's why it didn't come on. I like the next door snooty neighbors that keep getting Christmasized by Clark.
Or the squirrels.
Yeah, the squirrel.
Yeah, that.
And the cat that burns under the chair, and the little great grandma that says they ask her to say a prayer, and she says the Pledge to Allegiance. I laugh every time.
My favorite parts is Cousin Eddie.
I gotta get off here. Y'all have a good.
Bye. Thanks.
Cousin Eddie and his short house coat emptying the crapper in the sewer. That's just Christmas right there.
You know it's Christmas when you see that happening.
Yeah. For Bullet.
Yes.
The movie he was referencing, Christmas Comes to Willow Creek. And it's
I
set in
saw
Alaska.
that one listed, but I didn't recognize it.
Hey, good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Ron, I think the movie you were talking about is We're No Angels with Humphrey Bogart.
Tell us which one that is, Lisa.
The convicts that Ron was talking about, and they have a change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the John Wayne movie that guy called in and talked about. I think it's We're No Angels is the one you're thinking about.
Well, I'm going to have to watch them all now, aren't I?
Okay.
So what's your favorite?
Well, my favorite's the Polar Express.
Oh, yeah. There's a, yeah.
But every photo we have taken at my parents' house Christmas Eve for the last 20 years, every single photo has a scene from A Christmas Story in the background because my brother watches it over and over. We cannot change the channel on Christmas Eve because A Christmas Story has to play.
I just think that movie did what every kid was thinking. How can I hide this ad so my mom will see it?
And it's always so politically correct when they go fa la la rah 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 rah.
So yeah, but it's just that. I guess you would say is our family Christmas tradition. Although my brother's the only one that really enjoys it that much. So, and my mother has never actually seen the whole movie. So, as many times as it has played for 4 hours straight every Christmas Eve for 20 years, she still hasn't seen it.
I love it.
Well, maybe this may be the year.
So, I doubt it. She's not much of a movie person. But probably my second favorite is the 1970s version of Miracle on 34th Street with the guy that later was on Good Morning America, David Hartman.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why that was just one of my favorites, and everybody else looks at me like I'm crazy because apparently nobody liked anything that was remade in the 70s.
Just you.
It is a good movie. I just like the original better.
So, well, I've seen the original and it's good, but I guess it was just, you too, thanks. I just guess it was, my time. I was a small child when that movie came out, so I saw it before I saw the original by many, many years, so I guess that sticks out because it was my childhood memory. But I was in college before I ever saw It's a Wonderful Life. So,
and see, that's a 1946.
You were depraved or deprived, which was, I always get those words mixed up.
I just don't think, Lisa, that it showed for a long time, or it was back in the day that it showed one time a year, and if you weren't there to see it, you just didn't see it.
Probably, and I'd heard people talk about it for years, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And then a girl in my dorm rented it, and we watched it at Christmas. And I'm like, oh, this is a good movie, but it's never been one of my favorites. So, but I think the Polar Express really sums up a lot of what every child goes through at Christmas. So, and it was remarkable that they made such a good movie out of such a short book.
Yes, this is
true. And it's on about everybody's top 10 list.
Yeah, it is a really well done film.
Yes. So, but Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm going to hear some other callers.
Thank you.
And we'll listen to you in the new year.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
One of those movies that I go, we watched it, but it kind of, doesn't really put you in the Christmas spirit, but it's a real famous movie. It's The Gremlins.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas story,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, you got these bad, wicked things for Christmas
Well,
that
they
chew your face
fed
off.
them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
See, that's just not a Christmas movie to me either, just like Die Hard's not. Good morning, you're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Well, hey, she's back with us. What's going on?
Oh, we're just sitting here waiting for the rain, I guess.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to rain.
We're started T's eye drops this morning. His cataract surgery is Tuesday morning of all times. Fun games at our house. Now, I like that vacation movie. That's just crazy stuff. That's the kind of crazy stuff I like. But now, they're back in like 84 or 85, Dolly Parton and Lee Majors made a Christmas movie that's real good. And sometimes they show it if you just can catch.
What's the name of it?
I have no idea.
Okay, Arnold and I are typing as fast as we can. I'm glad Smoky Mountain Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
I thought it had to have something to do with Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
Isn't there something about a jug band that's a little Beavers or something that did Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Now, I like that one, but I can't remember what the name of it was. Mom?
I just remember showing it to my kids at school, and it'd be one of those things that they hadn't seen or heard, and they always enjoyed it.
The mama washed clothes in a tub.
Yeah.
And the little boy took the tub and made a musical instrument out of it, trying to win money to get her something. It was one of those real cute little things. And they used to show that every once in a while. But
they're listening on the internet as Jug Band, but I just remember.
Yeah.
There's this little furry creatures with funny hats on singing, and my kids always loved it when I taught third grade. Jug Band Christmas, I imagine it is.
Yeah. Now, that one I wouldn't care to see again.
Yeah. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. That's it.
There you go. And
ain't no hole in the what?
I like. Y'all were talking about Christmas stockings. Well, now, Dad never did worry about whether we had a doll or a ball or anything, but he always made sure we had fruit. He always bought a bushel of apples and a box of oranges and nuts, and we always had a big stocking because he always made sure we had.
We always put that ribbon candy down in the bottom that wasn't wrapped, and so after 2 or 3 days, you'd have to turn your stocking inside out and peel your candy off the inside of the stocking.
Yeah, and the little chocolate things that were white on the inside, and they were.
And I mean, who thinks it's a good idea to give children Brazil nuts that you have to have a hammer?
The kids do with the hammer.
I remember standing by the wood stove with it up on top of the wood stove, whacking those big old Brazil nuts, and thinking, "Hey, it's hot, and I got a hammer, and this is fun."
English walnuts. I always loved English walnuts, and
but that's right, because I think that was part of his Christmas tradition, because that's all you would get is maybe one thing and that stuff. Of course, his grandparents owned a store, a little country store, so he had probably chewing tobacco or something in his stocking. I don't know.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you this week sometime.
All righty.
It's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, Ain't No Hole in the Wash Tub. That's the whole title. See ya.
That's the whole thing. Bye-bye.
What about Bad Santa? That's a Christmas movie.
There was a Christmas movie,
I don't
all right.
like bad Christmas movies.
Well, and you said about the Nightmare on Christmas Eve, or what is it? Or
It's the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Before Christmas. That's different.
Yeah.
I have to admit. That's
that was quite different.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's just sort of little.
Well, I tried to watch White Christmas the other day.
Bing Crosby and.
Yeah. I just couldn't.
I'll tell you another one that a lot of people don't think about that I always like to watch. The Bells of St. Mary's.
Oh, I like that
That's
one.
a good one. Yeah. Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in a few minutes with Old Town, Cleveland also.
Old Car, Cleveland.
Old Car. Bye-bye.
WOOP LP, Cleveland, Tennessee.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Just stay in the house, check into cash, and grab your mouse.com. Get your money online, check into cash, right on time.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. No time to get away, check into cash. You've got to stay home.com. Hey, that's okay, check into cash. You can do it alone.com. Any old time, do it online. Just stay in the house and grab your mouse. Do a quick click from home. Catch your money overnight at the right website. Do a quick click from home. Go to checkintocash.com.
Wheeler Technologies has moved. Visit them at their new location at 490 Grove Avenue Southwest next to Bradley Rentals. Same great folks, same great service with a better location to serve you. Call Wheeler Technologies for voice, data, and security needs at 664-TECH. That's 664-8324. And remember, depend on Wheeler Technologies for the current time and temperature every day at 476-1111. Tennessee Alarm Contractor C1750. Kiesler Incorporated is in the business of recycling your metal, and they pay cash. The only covered scrapyard around where you can recycle rain or shine. They're located off the bypass on Overhead Bridge Road. Automobiles, appliances, copper, stainless steel, tin, all metals can be recycled at Kiesler, and you can walk away with cash. That's right, they pay cash, and they are the friendliest scrapyard in the Southeast. If you have unwanted metal just laying around, bring it to Kiesler Recycling today and walk away with cash. Kiesler Recycling open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 to 5, or call for more details, 614-3000.
All of my friends that I loved yesterday have gone. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. The songbirds are singing. The dells seem to say have gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly four. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Life here is lonely since they've gone before. Gone. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as their work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home.
That's to honor all those people who have gone home, Mrs. Chapman, Mrs. Neely, and to all those people who have lost loved ones this week. That's a little song dedicated to them, Gone Home.
Here's a good memory. Blue Christmas by Elvis Presley.
Oh,
Wasn't a movie, but one of
good
those
songs,
classic
yeah.
country songs. We have, of course, the Scrooge movies, and one that I tell you what I used to do when I taught third grade is I had an old videotape that had like 3 or 4 really old. I mean, the movie was so old it didn't have talking in it. It was a silent movie, but it was stuff that the kids had never seen, and it was those funny little cartoons from years ago where, you know, they'd show the little elves making toys and all that kind of stuff. And one of my former students said something to me about that not too long ago when I was asking me where I had found that movie, and I just kind of laughed and said, I don't know. It's just something at home.
Okay, what about Santa Claus? The Santa Claus. I thought that was pretty. The first one was good. Then they sort of, like you said, it kept on going on and on. But the first one was pretty interesting.
I watched that one all the way through the other night.
Yeah,
that was a good little movie.
Well, it's kind of it's a pretty good twist on it all. A Very Brady Christmas came out in the 90s, I think.
I can't watch
and
Brady. I'm sorry.
And Jim Carrey had A Christmas Carol.
What about The Elf with Will Ferrell? Now,
I don't think I've ever watched that all the way through.
It is as corny and as funny as you can get, but you know, if you've not seen it, Will Ferrell is a oversized elf who was raised by Santa, and that wasn't his real dad, though he found out, and he's really he takes his Christmas very serious when he comes to New York to live with his real dad, and it is sort of a comical thing, but.
I like where the movies that make fun of real people, you know, people that would might have a tendency to put up too many lights, you know, Deck the Halls and Jingle All the Way and The Christmas Story.
Let's see if
not the Christmas Story,
if
the
our
Christmas Vacation.
Audience knows who was the narrator of The Grinch Stole Christmas. Let's see if anyone can call in.
The original?
Yeah, the cartoon, wasn't it? It showed. Who was the narrator? And, you know, and I always wondered what they had the Who Beast. Instead of the roast beef, they had the Who Beast.
Who Beast.
And I read this for like a third grade class over at Mayfield School one time. That, you know what the problem was? It's hard to say Who Beast and not roast beast.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
It's Lisa again, and that was Vincent Price narrating The Grinch.
That's right.
So, don't know why I know that. I have a head full of useless trivia.
There you go.
Well, I know not to play you in Trivial Pursuit then, right?
No.
That's right.
So, that's about the only game I can probably beat you at, but definitely beat you at that one. So, something Ryan Harris and I haven't called it a
well, now,
useless knowledge.
When we get to literature, all I know is George Bernard Shaw.
It's the only answer he would know on Jeopardy.
And finally, I just keep saying George Bernard Shaw, and I finally get one right.
Well, the only thing I know he wrote was Pygmalion, so you would definitely beat me on that one if it was any other.
Yeah, every once in a while I get lucky on those.
So, okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Right.
I'll let you go again.
Right,
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon, was made in 1966.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember watching that the first time.
Oh, I probably did too, you know.
Was it a TV show, you think?
Or was first time I watched it, it was on TV.
Yeah, it was a TV movie.
Because it was 25 minutes.
Just like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with the abominable... I never knew why they needed an abominable snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Why did they need a dentist?
Filler.
And, of course, Burl Ives was the little snowman who sang. So, And that's the only time I ever liked Burl Ives singing was in that, so hey, if you've got a a favorite Christmas movie also, give us a call here and give us your vote on what your all-time favorite is. And if you've got one that we haven't mentioned this morning, we'd love for you to call us and stump Arnold, because, as Bullet says, you know it all. So you can stump Arnold. But I'm going to warn you, they got their little devices out here. They're pretty darn sneaky in getting on things for you. But
I'm going to throw one out for the science fiction fans.
All right.
The Doctor Who Christmas Carol.
The Doctor Who Christmas Carol. I don't remember that one. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
On the Grinch That Stole Christmas cartoon narrator, I'm pretty sure that was Boris Karloff.
Was it Boris or... I think
it was because I saw or heard that somewhere that always fascinated me that Boris Karloff would do something like that.
I'm glad to see it on DVD. I'm sorry.
Could be wrong, but I'm thinking it was Boris Karloff.
Well, we've got a controversy here.
Not that it matters, but all righty.
Boris Karloff. Now you've got me. I'm going. I don't know. We'll have to find out here.
Is that
who was the narrator for the Grinch Stole Christmas? Well, hey, we'll find the answer to that.
Okay.
We will not leave the air until this is solved.
I don't want to stir anything up,
Troublemaker.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, we had a controversy here on Woof and everything. And my son just sent me a text, and the worst movie of all time, a Christmas movie, is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
I saw that listed, and I go, that's one that I can guarantee I have never watched.
I had never seen it, but you ought to see it once. It's not good. But it's funny, though. Yeah. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Okay, Neil is right. It was Boris Karloff.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Oh, okay. Well,
you were just testing Neil's knowledge, is what it was, Lisa.
What?
You were just testing Neil's knowledge.
Oh, okay. So, no, see, I knew the genre. I knew it was a horror movie star, but I guess I...
Well, you said that, and then, I'm going... Then he said Boris Karloff, I go, which one was it? They do have a very... Boris Karloff has a little bit deeper voice, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they probably did a few movies together, so that's probably where I got confused.
Hey, let me ask you a question here. I've seen somewhere on Facebook the other day that they're going to start Shock Theater again on Channel 9 on Friday nights at midnight. Has anybody else seen that or heard that?
I heard it is on Channel 12.
But I thought it was already back on.
Is it on Channel 12 or 9?
I don't have any idea because I watch very little TV.
Well, I just happened to see it,
for a while.
That they have a new Dr. Shock, a new Nurse Goodbody, and the question that John Cook asked me, were they going to have Dingbat?
So...
you're getting old when you ask about Dingbat before you ask about Nurse Goodbody.
Yes.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, bye.
As I was looking at this, what surprised me is how The Grinch Stole Christmas, the movie from, a few years ago. Yeah. Ron Howard directed that. I had forgotten that. Oh, yeah,
Ron Howard. And I thought it was very good.
There's another movie out there that I was trying to think of the name of, but it's Dudley Moore plays an elf that took care of the reindeer.
Oh, yeah. What was that? My son just sent, my son has these weird things. He says there's also a movie called Brazil.
Yes, I saw that on here, but I didn't know
Brazil just called Santa Claus, which Santa goes up against the devil and defeats him with ice cream. I've got to see that.
I think I can pass. I will pass on
and nobody's voted on Bad Santa. Was that Billy Bob Thornton played Bad Santa?
I didn't see that one.
It may be.
I think it's Billy Bob Thornton. Hey, go ahead, call. You're live on Old Town Cleveland. Hello? Let's see if I can. Go ahead, caller.
I wasn't coming through there for a minute.
Yeah, the light was flashing and the button was on. I'm going, something's wrong. Go ahead and tell us what's going on there, Red.
Okay. Have you ever heard of this movie, Beavis and Butthead Christmas?
No,
yes, I have heard of that one.
I haven't seen.
Funniest one of all.
Of course, Red, you do have a weird sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
But, sound like something I ought to see.
Yeah, you should watch it one time.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead Saves Christmas.
Yeah, that.
Arnold, you're on that radio more than anybody else now, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a star. He's the. We've got to mention he is one of the stars of Good Sports.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he's a Good Sports regular.
The one that puts down my ticket.
The star.
He puts down your team.
Yeah.
Who's your team?
Georgia.
Oh, I don't blame him.
Here
Boy, that was a setup.
Here we go, Bad Santa.
Yeah, that's right. Are you ready for Christmas, Red?
I don't celebrate Christmas.
What do you celebrate?
Nothing.
Well, Georgia never wins, so you never celebrate.
I just let my neighbors, they decorate their house.
Uh-huh.
I just put up a sign and point it towards theirs. Says ditto.
There you go.
You know, Red, one of my favorite stories of all time is when you called one time wanting to shoot your neighbor's tires out of their riding lawnmower.
I still want to do that every summer. One of these days I'm going to get around to it.
Red, I want to confirm whether you're a star or not.
If I'm a star?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a star.
Yeah. Didn't you play in Ernest Saves Christmas?
No, no.
I thought you was in that movie.
No. Don't put that off on me now.
Red, you have a good Christmas.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Ernest Saves Christmas. There's a story that just needing to be told. Jim Varney is his name, and you know he started that as out of an advertising agency over in Nashville. There at Cherry Hill Advertising, and basically it was to advertise energy saving and what was it? He says Ernest.
Yeah,
and he was talking about Ernest and saving thing. I remember
it all started as a actual character in an advertisement.
Yeah. And Jim Varney had been in some other movies when he was younger, but not as the Ernest character that he had. Good morning, you're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, Ron, I'll tell you my favorite Christmas story now.
Okay.
It was on the Andy Griffin show one year. Boy, that guy played the storekeeper, and he was a grouch.
Yes.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah, and they arrested. He had somebody arrested, or somebody was arrested, and Aunt B and them just brought Christmas down to the jail, and he finally done something to get arrested so he could come in and go to jail with them.
Yeah, he was the one that was going to pour clothes on their house.
Yeah. Yep.
And his wife and little kid.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, that was a good one. It sure was.
Hey, it's hard to beat Andy Griffin.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Bye.
The movie where Dudley Moore was the elf was Santa Claus, the movie from 1985.
I was thinking it's something like that, but I wasn't.
It's just
sure.
simple. We were looking for something complicated. It was just the Santa Claus.
But there's so many of them named Santa Claus. You know, you got to get all the title right.
Yeah.
It's just, but you know, there are good movies, of course. It's a Christmas Story. I have to admit, it's pretty good, you know. And, you know, you go from Santa Claus to the leg lamp and to the Chinese goose.
The electric sex glowing in the window lamp.
Oh,
yes.
Here's a pretty good little TV movie I saw, Christmas Town.
What's it about?
I don't know that one.
I saw it one day. It's a pretty good little movie.
Christmas Town. Who was in that? What was it about? Christmas?
Yeah, it's about a Christmas celebration in a town that almost went kaput.
Oh.
It was made in 2008, so it's fairly new, but it's pretty much a TV movie. I didn't see it very often, maybe 2 or 3 times since then. So
I'm going to have to go find this Humphrey Bogart one that Lisa talked about, Humphrey Bogart in a Christmas movie. I don't remember that one either. So
here's a good one.
All right.
Ice Age, A Mammoth Christmas.
Oh, A Mammoth Christmas. You know, so much
like
left.
Shrek the Halls.
So much left untold after the first Ice Age there. Now, have you seen? There's actually a Cousin Eddie Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It's stole off of Christmas Vacation, and they went to Hawaii or something for Christmas. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Joe brought this DVD by, and it's called John Ford Westerns, and it has the name of that movie is Three Godfathers, and it does show a picture of these 2 cowboys standing in the back, and John Wayne with his Union soldier looking. I mean, it's U.S. soldier
Yeah.
outfit on, holding a baby.
Yeah, they. I remember the movie now that I see the picture with the baby, because there's actually, I remember the most vivid sequence in it is walking across the desert trying to save the baby, and they slowly die on their way across the desert.
So,
Sounds cheerful.
You can call
Yeah.
us here at 614-5553. We got Arnold Tarpley in here today with Deb and I, and we're talking about Christmas movies and just Christmas memories. What's your favorite? I can't say favorite and Christmas at the same time, apparently, today.
I found the top 5 dirty Christmas songs. Maybe we shouldn't listen to those this morning.
Can we even say them?
No.
Okay.
That's all I saw.
Well, why did you mention if we can't even say them?
Well, here's someone wanting to request one of those, Deb. Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Is this Whoop?
This is Whoop.
And you're live on the air.
Could you play something by Donna Branham?
If we have anything in the catalog, we
We'll
will.
play it at 12:01.
One of her Christmas CDs?
If we can find it, we'll try.
I don't know if we have any or not. We will look. If we do, we will play it.
You played it yesterday. Play it again.
Well,
Okay.
now, I didn't play it yesterday, and I don't, they hide things here.
If we've got it, we'll play it.
If I find it, I'll guarantee you I will play it. I know Donna, and I would love to play one of her songs.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
We got to get those Brandon folks on this show.
Yeah. So go ahead there. Now look, see if I see a Donna Branham CD here.
As he drops everything off the top shelf.
Folks, call us here at 614-5553. Tell us about your favorite Christmas movie or your Christmas story or what you're going to be doing for this Christmas. If you know about the Christmas parade in Polk County, give us a call. If you know about any other type of Christmas programs going on, we'd love to hear about that.
A lot
too.
of that stuff is already passed. Last weekend was real busy with churches and schools and such doing their things, so there may not be too much more going on.
Yeah, it's kind of time for everybody to start heading out of town and
Family stuff.
Getting their shopping
So,
done.
Arnold, do you eat turkey for Christmas or do you eat ham? Or do you eat whatever
ge-
they put on your plate?
I eat whatever's put on the plate, but I generally prefer ham over turkey.
We've ordered us a turkey this
I like
year
turkey,
from Barbecue Done Right.
Yeah.
And looking forward to not having to wrestle that turkey.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead. Call. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm a turkey. I got a favorite.
You're a turkey?
I got a favorite Christmas memory. I'm going to tell you that I got to go to work up there at the cemetery a little bit up. I got a memory that's brings back a lot of memories of me when I was about 4 years old, and I never will forget it. Deb, I think, done, when they had the Christmas dinner over at Magic Shelf, my father used to take us over when we was kids, and they'd set up in the steel room over there, and they'd have Christmas dinners, and that's going to always be my favorite memory of a Christmas. Magic Shelf had dinners.
I don't remember ever going to the Christmas dinners, but we always went to the Lake Winnepesaukah barbecue thing that they would have.
Yeah, I remember that also, but it was back in, my father went to work when it was a Dixie Thunder, but I think it was Magic Shelf when they had the Christmas dinner. And I remember
Now, I have seen pictures of entire rooms full of people over there.
Well, I never will forget that, and it's been a memory. I'm going to cherish that memory as long as I'm here.
Well, I'll tell you what a lot of people forget is that when you start thinking about the happy times at Christmas, 99% of the time, it will be something that you did with your family, some event that you went to, not necessarily what gift you got. And we need to remember that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you, dear.
We'll see.
Bye.
Call us here at 614-5553. You're listening to Whoop FM 99.9. This is Old Town Cleveland, and we're talking about the Christmas movies and Christmas memories. So far, we do not have a consensus on the best Christmas movie. We have It's a Wonderful Life. We have Miracle on 34th Street, Die Hard, Polar Express. What am I leaving out, guys? Scrooge, and then we've had a little mix of everything else. So, and A Christmas Story has been in there. So, and then of course Joe come in with his favorite TV thing was the Andy Griffith story there, and of course I had to a little off subject. My favorite Andy Griffith is the Kerosene Pickle episode of all time. That's one of my favorites.
Well, you know, the Christmas Story House is actually in Ohio, and it's opened. I imagine everybody else in the neighborhood's not too excited about that. It's actually like a museum that you can go there.
And I have found Donna Bramlett's CD over here.
We'll play
and
that
when
when
we go off the air.
air.
We're going to play. As soon as we go off, we have to play the standard commercials. And then right after that will be Donna's song. So thank you for calling in, and I'm glad I was able to find it here. And wake Donna up. I know she doesn't get up
A
early.
lot of times people will bring in CDs for us to play, and whatever DJ's here will take those with them, and so they're not necessarily left here.
Or they throw them in the corner or something, and they lose the covers and different things. So, well, I have found it, and we will play that here at 12. Be about 12:05, I think, doing that. So, and turkeys and hams. What do you eat for that? Do anybody have anything? Now, Joe Palo. Everybody knows Joe Palo, WTMB.
Yeah.
Here in town, and Arnold, you and I got to do a TV show with him up in Knox West. Football game didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. The show turned out right. The game didn't turn out the way it did. But Joe, his family's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they eat liver dressing. Yeah, I made the same face. I don't know if anybody else here in the South that even knows what liver dressing is or won't. My wife just went, ooh. And so, Joe, you're totally by yourself here in Cleveland.
I think that's safe to say that.
Yeah, and so if anybody's heard of liver dressing and if ate it, give us a report, because I don't trust Joe Palo. I mean, he said, oh, that's the best thing in the world. And I go, if it has liver in it, it can't be the best thing in the world. It just really can't. And Anthony Dunn, a good friend of ours, is one that does barbecue done right, and I think he has hams and turkeys, and I don't know how late you can order.
I believe his number is 650-7299, and he's fixing turkeys and hams for Christmas, and then he has some side items you can buy also.
And I want to say, if any of you are Stadium Barbecue fans, I talked with one of the owners the other night, and she said that they are that if they rebuild at the current location, that remodeling job would take 3 to 4 months. So they may be looking for a new location. They don't know what they're going to do yet, but they are planning on opening back up. And so we ran into a guy at breakfast this morning, said he may have to drive to Sevierville to get his Stadium Barbecue fixed. They do have a restaurant out in Sevierville, out towards, like you're going towards Sevier County High School out there on the right. It's a pretty big restaurant out there. So if you just have to have some Stadium Barbecue or that banana pudding fried pie or one of those that they make, you can drive up to Sevierville, go through Gatlinburg, see the lights, and go back.
I understand they have a bigger menu up there, too.
Yes, they do. So
favorite Christmas songs? I'd have to pick Nat King Cole, the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting Over Open Fire.
I think Merry Christmas with the Family by Robert Earl Keen was mine. It just says Christmas to me. And,
what do you think, Arnold? Of course, I like the classics of Jingle Bells and Rudolph because I've taught at elementary school for so long.
Silent Night. Silent Night is just that's that's the song I like,
See, it depends on who does it too. There's some that I like a whole lot better than others on that song. But favorite song. I've heard so many this Christmas season. Everybody's been playing Christmas music around me.
I'd say anything by Elvis Christmas and Vince Gill Christmas does it for me. I have Vince Gill's Christmas CD, and I'll drive Ron crazy playing it.
I just don't want that guy who plays the clarinet or flute. What is his name? No. Kenny G.
Kenny G.
I just don't want him playing. After you hear one of those songs, okay, I don't want to hear a whole album of that stuff. That's just me now. I probably just offended every Kenny G fan out there, but
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yeah.
I saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus. We used to sing that when we were little. No singing. No live demonstrations, Ron. And then what's the one Alabama does? Christmas in Dixie.
Christmas in Dixie's a really good song.
I'm going to go with Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle
I like
Bell-
Jingle
yeah,
Bell Rock.
That's a good one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
And I always like I Hate Christmas by Oscar off of the Sesame Street.
And Silver Bells is another good Christmas
Yeah.
song. Silver Bells, and there's some good versions of that out there. And is there any Christmas specials on TV that you always like that they always do? And I don't know. Now I tell you, one of the funniest things I've seen was Tennessee Ernie Ford used to do a Christmas special. Had a TV show, and in one of his Christmas specials, he did Go Where You Tell Thee, and he does it. You got to go look around the. Yeah, it's the Tennessee Ernie Ford Funny Kid video. It's his son sitting next to him, who reacts to him singing, and Tennessee Ernie Ford almost does not make it through the live performance that night because of his son has got everybody cracked up. If you've not seen that video, you got to go to YouTube and Tennessee Ernie Ford, and of course you'd hear this great baritone voice that he has to sing. So, Christmas movies, we've talked about It's a Wonderful Life. We've talked about Miracle on 34th Street, Polar Express, Scrooge, 1, 2, 3 different live things. Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon, the live.
Home Alone.
Home Alone, 1 and 2 and 3.
4, 5, and 6.
And then we've talked about some other Christmas movies. Die Hard, which I still don't think is a Christmas movie, but Stalag 17, which is one of my favorite movies. I call it a war movie myself. It just happens to be around Christmas time.
You know, I saw something here that reminds me. The Waltons, the TV series, actually started off as a Christmas movie called The Homecoming.
Yes, it did.
They did The Homecoming, and it looked like, hey, this is a good thing. And so then they made the whole Walton series out there.
There's another movie out there that's referencing the Christmas, Donovan's Reef. Another John Wayne movie.
It is, yeah. All right.
And it's not exactly a Christmas movie, but it really is centered all around Christmas. It's a pretty good movie.
And, you know, one of those classic things that's been going on for generations now is the Rockettes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring a show to Nashville every year.
Yeah, I know some people who make a trip to see that show about every year.
And, of course, Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Oh, yeah.
And the barking dogs at Christmas. Yeah, now that's classics.
Yeah, there's some classics. I don't know if we have the barking dogs or not here.
I don't think I've heard the barking dogs this year.
I haven't either. You know, it's time.
Now that I said that, they'll be the only thing that's on all afternoon.
Now, I heard one time, and I've never been able to find it, they was one of the Chattanooga radio stations was playing heavy metal bands playing traditional Christmas songs, but sort of they're like Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I've heard some of that over
the
years.
And it was good. It was really cranking, and you're going, that's some good stuff. You know, and I've never heard. I'd love to have a CD of that. That would be really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I've got to find out if we got barking dogs in here in our calendar real quick. Here thing. Coming up next year.
Got him started.
Yeah. Coming up next year, we've got quite a few things coming up on Old Town Cleveland. Some of the shows we don't have all the dates down, but we are going to talk about in February, which will be Black History Month. We do have Anthony Dunn and some of his family going to come up and talk about what's the church up there?
Green Chapel.
Green Chapel. His grandfather was involved, or his great grandfather was involved in setting that church up there, and we're going to do a lot of the Charleston area and the Black history.
He's going to talk
there.
about, of course, Anthony barbecues. He's got Barbecue Done Right. But he's going to tell us how he learned to barbecue in the backyard from Grandpa and his daddy. You know, the old-fashioned way to learn how to do things. We have Mike Bell coming on in February. That's going to bring one of the racing legends from Georgia, Charlie Mincy, with him. They're going to talk about moonshining and racing in the area.
And Charlie Mincy is one of the very historic moonshiners out of Georgia, too.
He sure is. He started running at 13, and on the video, he said it didn't matter if you got caught, if you didn't have a license. If you was hauling moonshine, you was going to jail anyway.
We've talked with Johnny Mull, and he's going to come in and talk about his uncle, Rex Dockery. Rex died about 30 years ago, just a couple of weeks ago now, and Has he been
Yeah,
30
I hope
or-
he
or
brings his
25?
dad with him.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to get P-Dab and his aunt to come on. P-Dab's, of course, been a little bit under the weather, but maybe he'll be back to yakety-yakking here real soon.
And someone who is retired now, but seems to be busier than what he was when he was working, is our friend Daryl Patterson from up in Athens. I talked with him, and he said he would love to come down. We'd like to talk about him growing up in Athens, and then how sports and television changed through the Cleveland, Bradley County, Chattanooga area. You know, he was involved with Channel 9 for 40 years, I believe it was. So
I don't think I can hardly remember the sportscaster before Daryl Patterson.
I don't know either.
We were real excited that he agreed to come, and he was excited to share his story.
And just getting his schedule. So that's some of the things we're working on right now, getting here. And so
there's some others. Steve Bivens and his mom's going to come on when Steve calms down a little bit. His mom's in her 90s, wants to tell her story, and we're glad to let her do that.
So
we've talked to some folks about doing Underground Chattanooga.
Right. That's you know, I don't know if a lot of people know, but Chattanooga used to be a lot lower than it is, and like some towns, they raised it up so that the streets wouldn't flood. So the first story now are the basements of most buildings in Chattanooga and the downtown area there. And we have a gentleman who's wrote a book about it. And we also like to say thanks to Dr. Hood, who come on a couple of weeks ago and did the history of Appalachian religion and snake handling.
That was an interesting show.
He was just an unbelievable knowledge, and he knew more about snake handling than anybody had ever talked about before. I mean, he has hours and hours and hours of actually filming these churches in operation that's at the Lumpkin Library. You can go down and watch them, but you just can't go down there. And we'd like to thank Doug Mizell for last week. He came in, and Bud Home come in, and if you folks know Bud Holmes, he created a lot of the crazy cars you may have seen around, the coffin car, and they tell some story about, I understand that they bought the coffin, and then this guy went on, the guy they bought the coffin from a couple weeks later killed a couple people, so we don't know what he was going to use with the coffin before they made it into a car, you know, so,
yeah, Bud's imagination, he come up with some good ones.
And, you know, just a really nice guy, and just really very intelligent, and very mechanical, and
I think we're going to have a music show sometime in the next 6 weeks, too. We try to do the live music shows every now and then because I know our listeners really enjoy it. And I believe our good friend, Stacy Cry's been gone 3 years this week, and our condolences still to his family. And we had him on our show 3 weeks before he died.
Yeah, he that was of course, grew up over at Stacy's gas station myself, so Stacy was always a good friend, and glad he was here. We just had a great year, you know, for all the shows this year, and I can't even start to name all the things we've done. And I know Arnold and Doug come on a couple of weeks ago and did some things with us. So what did we do that day?
We was talking about
mechanics.
Oh, yeah, that's got it started on Bud Holmes, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Bud actually called in on that
that's
show.
right. You know, his first car was a 55 barrel.
55-gallon barrel. That cracked me up. So, Bud, what was your first car? It was a 55-gallon barrel. Then he proceeded to tell us about rolling it somewhere to get it cut.
Okay, Christmas movies, folks. You got to call in and get us out of this here. We got we've talked about all the good ones, so you know. All right, we're gonna have to come up with a movie quote and see if anybody knows what movie it's from.
Go ahead.
What could we say?
She wrapped her cat.
Well, that's easy. I mean, we could say every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to know what that is. You know.
That is true.
You know.
That may be the most well-known quote of all.
It may be, you know. And what about we haven't identified that fungus on their lip yet?
What movie when you say that, it reminds me of Christmas.
You know, what movie is that from? Do you know? I mean, just let us know. And gosh, I can't. My mind just went blank. I know all these.
Motown Christmas. That sounds good. That's a CD.
And yes, John Cook, I wrote a Christmas song. I don't have it with me. It's called "It's Christmas Time in Your Heart," and there's a line there that says, "Eggnog and a Christmas tree." And
Yep.
John always said, I said eggnog in a Christmas tree. It's according to what's in the eggnog if you end up in the Christmas tree. So,
I think most people would think about the eggnog and ended up in the Christmas
that's
tree.
right. Yeah, under the Christmas tree, on top of the Christmas tree. And
I did post my eggnog recipe this week on Facebook. Guaranteed to put you in sugar shock.
And one of our friends wanted to know where's the
rum. There was no rum in it.
Well, that's
and then a good friend of mine from Oklahoma, I posted it. And it's got a whole carton of like egg beaters in it, and 2.5 cups of sugar, and 3 teaspoons of vanilla, and a whole container of whipped cream, and all this really good stuff. And then she listed a low-fat version, and I'm thinking, low-fat, it's Christmas.
Yeah. Arnold, real quick, on Good Sports coming up, I know that you're still, you got some bowl games coming up. What's the biggest bowl game coming up besides the national championship? Anything coming this week that people need to be watching this weekend?
I don't know if there's anything really big this
Buffalo
weekend.
Buffalo
and Tulane's playing. That Tulane game might be a pretty good game. That's in New Orleans, last game that they'll be playing in the Super Bowl. Yeah,
what about all those games they played? Was it around Thanksgiving in the snow up north? Was that crazy?
That was crazy. And some of the wildest games of all, I think one of the things that came out was some of the highest scoring ball games that they'd seen. I'm not sure. Is it that weekend that they said that the NFL team scored the most amount of points in the history of the NFL?
I don't know. I just like the video they kept showing of the guy that ran the ball, fell down, and when he stood up, his entire helmet was full of snow. And I thought that has to hurt.
And I have to say, and I'm sorry, Judge Deacon, Auburn's luck runs out. I mean, they've had some luck this year.
They've had some luck, but darn good football team.
They are, and when they beat Missouri 55 to 40 something, now I can't remember what it was.
Wasn't any defense played.
Yeah, no, it's not.
When do you think it was, guys, when they started putting the lit decorations in downtown Cleveland for Christmas? What do y'all remember about the stores down there?
I remember they used to have these wreaths and things different with little. They weren't lit, but they had. Like a fake candle and tinsel and everything. Yeah. That's what they used to do for a long time, and then they started hanging the banners now with more holiday stuff.
The banners is a fairly recent, probably the last...
Since 2000, maybe?
Somewhere along in there. Yeah. But I seem to remember as a kid that there were some of the decorations where they stretched all the way across the street.
Yeah, they did.
And were lit.
Yeah.
So I was trying to remember this now, how many that they actually had. Was it one every block?
Yeah, but there weren't that very. I mean, it was just in very downtown Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't everywhere. It was just basically along McCoy Street. I'm not even sure if it was on Broad.
And then about the 80s, they started this white light on the top of the buildings things that not only just for Christmas, but was to highlight downtown all the time.
That.
And then they looked very good. I don't know if do we still do that, or are we just used to it now?
I know I think they still do it in Chattanooga. I don't know.
I don't know if we still have it here in Cleveland or not, but
that just goes to show how often we all go downtown at night.
Well, or we just don't pay attention to it. And I think in 1954 would be the as when the Christmas parades become organized in Cleveland on a regular basis. The JCs are the one who started the Christmas parades and ran them for years and years until to Main Street Cleveland now has basically taken over the last few years. So, and those.
I remember that when I was a kid, the parade started in 5 Point.
Yeah. Yes,
come up Inman Street, then up McCoy, back down Broad, then back to 5 Point.
Well, and they and the Magic Shelf parking lots is where they staged at, and that's where the staging come out. And I remember being involved in a lot of those things.
Now I do remember the some of the store windows downtown being somewhat specially decorated for Christmas. They would have toys and stuff like that in the windows. And once the aluminum Christmas trees came out, I guess they started having aluminum Christmas trees.
There for a long time, and they first started the parades at night, and then the parade moved to daytime. And I think this was a commercialized reason, though, because the stores would be open during the day and they didn't have to be open at night when it got dark. So the parade for a long time, I remember in my younger days were all during the days. And then even when I was involved in the JCs, got involved in 79 and 80, it was still daytime stuff. We done run them at around noon at 1 o'clock, and it was supposed to be, it would be warmer.
Freeze to death.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let's say, we was talking about it started staged in the Magic Chef parking lots, come up Inman, up McCoy, turn around at the monuments, and back down Broad to Inman, and back down.
No, it went Broad to 3rd.
Yeah, Broad to 3rd,
It
and then back down.
Yeah,
Okay.
and 3rd and went over to the.
I never got that far down. I was always up around the monument.
Yeah, when it got there, and then of course, then when it got to being at the staging at Bradley High School,
Right. That was
came
that's
up
where it's headed.
3rd, come up McCoy, back down Broad, turn on Inman, and then go a short parts to Keith back to Bradley.
Yeah. Now, was that 1 year that they turned north on Keith?
We did that for the Bicentennial Parade in 1976.
Okay.
We turned north and went to the Cleveland Mall.
That was a long parade.
I remember, I was in high school, and I remember some of my friends that was in the band talk about how absolutely wore out they were when they got to the end of that.
That was one of those things that so many sponsors wanted to be involved, and more dollars come in to pay for the parade and activities. Is that downtown wanted it, the Village Shopping Center wanted part of it, and then the Cleveland Mall wanted. So they all, because the route got changed 2 or 3 times by according to who. I was the chairman of that project. How come I happened to know that who wanted the to do that? And when we got to the Cleveland Mall that night, we were supposed to be our guest speaker, or in the program was Governor George Wallace, running for president of the United States. He got in the middle of a tornado in Little Rock, Arkansas, and did not make it back to Cleveland, or didn't make it to Cleveland that night. I still have George Wallace's plaque at my house.
Thanking him to come.
Thank him for coming to Cleveland. That's one of my collections. George Wallace did call me later that day and said, Mr. Moore, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. If you ever heard George Wallace speak, he was that southern slow talk, but he was a pretty brilliant man when he spoke. Not necessarily what he said.
No, not necessarily politically correct.
But now after he started running for president, he became a lot more politically correct than he was when. My favorite thing he ever said is when he ran for. He was in Michigan. They recapitulated. He had won, and then they recapitulated, and he had lost. And he said, "I don't know what that recapitulating was, but I figured I didn't like recapitulating." So, we digress there, but you know.
Well, I was sitting there thinking. I said, it seemed to me I thought at least 1 year it turned north on the Coy and went all the way to the mall.
That was the Bicentennial Parade, but you know, most of the time I guess the Christmas Parade. You know, I know
that was a huge parade too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that we had. We had Shriners from 7 states because they had just elected someone locally that had been the Grand Potentate or whatever you call him there. Not being insultive, I just don't know what the title is there. And they had people there, and then we had Miss World, Teenage World here, and just lots and lots of people here. Yeah. I think the Shriners actually took up probably one whole. They probably left Magic Shelf and got to the Village, and they were still going from Magic Shelf when they got there. That was huge.
Yeah, it was a huge parade. I remember because I was watching it, and I said, "Wow, this is one of the bigger ones that I've ever seen there."
And we actually had some kind of Coke blow up type thing too. You know?
Yeah,
not the size of the Macy Day parades and everything like that. So
yeah, big deal. A lot of fun.
It was, and a lot of people, you think, oh yeah, I remember.
Okay,
that.
folks, we got about 10 more minutes. You got to call in and tell us what your favorite movie is, or do you eat ham, or do you eat turkey? Do you open your gifts on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? And when do you put up your tree? When do you take it down? We need to know all those things, and we need to know it now. 614-5553. We got Arnold Tarpley here from Good Sports here on Whoop, and Debbie and myself. And also, if you want to see Rick Steiner, the wrestler, he's down at Bradley Central High School today. Well, I'm pretty sure he's there. His son is wrestling in the high school wrestling tournament there at Bradley. It's an annual event. And Rick, you may not know him when you first walk in. He's just sitting up in the stands. But when his son wrestles, he gets down there near the mat and and acts like a fool, like every daddy out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's son's a big,
Hey.
strong-looking kid too.
Do we have in our catalog Larry the Cable Guy Christmas songs?
I really doubt
I
it.
would really doubt that we could play them without previewing them too.
There's a
Well-
lot of songs on here I don't play unless I listen to them before I play them. You know.
Of course, there's one thing. I'll add a little something on the Governor Wallace issue. When I first went to work for the state, I was working in Sevier County, and I was assigned to measure and list houses in an area up there called Shagbark. And Shagbark was like 1,300 acres
Oh my!
of resort, and it had hundreds of lots, most of which had dirt roads because they'd never been developed. And there's like about 100 houses total in that area. And I was working one side of the development, and the other guy was working the other side. And I got working along the ridge and got to the very last house and looked at the name. It was George Wallace. And I measured the house and everything. And well, of course, at that time he was in a wheelchair, and you never saw the arrangement of ramps on the decks of that multi-level house for
It
him
was
to
really
get around.
his house.
Yes.
And where was it?
This was in Sevierville.
Huh? I didn't realize
It's
he'd
in
ever.
a development called Shagbark,
Hmm.
which is one of those that took off for a little while and then kind of disappeared. Not many people know about it, but I always remember it because I thought it was such a unique place.
Mm-hmm.
And his upper deck, if you stood on the northeast side, you could see about 35 miles.
I imagine you'd have to have a good ramp system. You
It was
pick up too much speed coming down one that wasn't.
Oh, it was amazing because
zigzag.
this was really on the side of a ridge, and it was about three stories tall. And the ramp system out there were just so amazing for him to get around in it, I think.
I had never heard that he had a house here in Tennessee, but
Yeah.
smart man moved to a pretty place.
It was of course, it was a unique place. It had one way in and out, and you just had security there. You had to get security clearance to get in there. And it was a neat place, but it's just something that nobody really knows very much about.
There's a musical going on now in New York. I saw it on probably Good Morning America yesterday morning, the Christmas Story musical. But I just have a hard time thinking that you just can't. The furnace and stuff. You just can't do that in a musical.
Here's a trivia question.
Run still trivia.
What is the angel's name in the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
I know.
All right. If you know, call us at 614-5555.
I just crack up at the online. You can turn on your TV, the Christmas fireplace, and it play music, and your TV looks like the fireplace. I never liked my TV looking like a fireplace.
614-5553. What was the angel's name in It's a Wonderful Life? And
I know.
And today, not only do you see the fireplace on your TV, you go to Gatlinburg and stay in the cabins, and the fireplaces are electric.
Oh, that's no fun.
Bah humbug.
Bah humbug.
And also in It's a Wonderful Life, where did Harry and George Bailey work when they were younger boys? There's two places now. You have to remember that.
When they're young.
When George Bailey, where did he work? And then where did he work after he became an adult?
Mm-hmm. I know that my grandmother, probably in the early 60s, had a cardboard fireplace that had a little log, probably cardboard logs in it. And when you plugged it up, there was a little cellophane that would blow in a fan and a light bulb back there. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Well, now, here's a good one for you. As a kid, growing up, our house never had a fireplace. So you can imagine me as a little kid trying to figure out how in the world Santa got in our house.
You're going to be nervous, weren't you?
Yeah.
Just in case it was too
We
difficult.
didn't either. Going out on Spring Place Road, we had a floor furnace.
Yeah.
A floor furnace and an aluminum Christmas tree.
Now, my My grandmother had floor furnaces, but she did have an old coal fireplace.
There were more
which is
kids
tiny.
mangled on those
But
floor.
As a little kid at our house, we did not have a fireplace, and I was always trying to figure out how in the world Santa got in.
Well, it's magic.
Yeah,
That's how.
That would be.
And my grandmother, too, I remember in the early 60s, her having elves all over her Christmas tree. And I thought, well, I wish I had reminisced about that and invented this new elf that watches kids. And
Yeah, I've been seeing that all over everywhere, and I've been on Facebook. I've been seeing some interesting variations.
Well,
of that.
that's what happens when adults get a hold of kids' stuff. They do interesting things that they shouldn't do. But most of the time, it's just funny stuff. Are we betting on a white Christmas this year?
No white Christmas.
I remember one about 65, and then one, 2 years ago, or was it last year?
Yeah. It has to turn cold to be a white Christmas. It's 61 degrees when I got up this morning.
Yes, and I have the air conditioner on in the studio this morning, so I think white Christmas.
2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the third Christmas since that one. But the one you're thinking about in the 60s was, I think, in 1962.
Could have been.
Because
the one I'm thinking about is later in the 60s, but now in 62, I think there was a big one.
Well, the only one I remember then was in 62. And the reason I remember that it was 62 is because we went to Tampa for Christmas that year to visit my family.
Missed the one white Christmas.
And missed a white Christmas. And the reason all the pictures we had of the snows after we get back are dated 1963.
Oh, okay. Because
So, but
I can never trust those little numbers on those photographs because my mom she probably only shot 2 rolls of film a whole year, and then she may not get it, developed until the next year. It wasn't like now you see it instantly.
Well, that was the way Mom was, but she'd shoot the pictures and get them developed fairly quickly. You could at least have a reasonable time frame to lay back on there. But I remember that particular Christmas when we got home, we had our house on Poplar Street was 2 stories in the back, and there's icicles that stretched from the roof to the ground.
We forgot one.
Uh-oh, no.
It's a Flintstone Christmas. You remember that one?
No. I do not remember
There may be a reason that you don't remember it.
I really don't remember that one, I have to admit.
But now I think our favorite near Christmas story is one that actually happened at our house. I was making rum cakes one year and had made multiple rum cakes. And so I had this big batter bowl, and Ashley was 6. And I went to wrap gifts in the room next door, and Ashley proceeded to crawl up at the counter and got
the phone has been off.
Well, I thought so.
Thank you, Mr. Weber.
Ben,
there we go.
And she licked the entire batter bowl clean and got sloppy drunk for Christmas.
Boy. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
The angel's name in It's a Wonderful Life, I believe, was Clarence.
That's right.
That's correct.
I was trying to call, but I think you had the phone cut off.
Well, I just couldn't. It was
our
apparently the button wasn't
buttons
working
are
right.
worn out.
But you know where he worked? George Bailey worked.
Gallows Drugstore.
That's right.
What was the name of the drugstore?
I've seen it a few times.
And what was the name? Where did he work as an adult then?
Well, he worked at Bailey Savings and Loan.
Boy, you've got it down. George knows it.
All righty.
Thank you.
What do I win? Back full of bills?
Gratitude. A lot of gratitude.
Thank you.
And it comes in bundles.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you, Neil. I knew somebody would know the answer to those.
Well, they all knew the answer. They just couldn't call in.
Well,
usually on Old Town Cleveland, if we go more than 5 minutes and the
there's
phone's
something
not
wrong.
ringing, there's something wrong because people always want to talk about their memories of Cleveland.
And see, here it goes again. Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, Ron.
Hey.
Yeah, you've been off for a while, but anyway, could you play Brenda Lee, Rocking Around a Christmas Tree, or whatever it is?
If I can find it, I'll do it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye. Go ahead, folks, while I find this song here.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Now they're hey, good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Keep your phone on. We've been trying for 30 minutes.
Well, you push these buttons and it shows that it.
People to call in, and we're all trying to call in.
All right, what you want to talk about, Red?
Where did everybody go?
I have a movie for you.
Okay. Oh, no. What is
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That's every daddy's story too, where they forgot to buy that one Christmas gift that you had to get 3 months early, and then the trouble he got in.
And my favorite Christmas song is Ray Stevens, "Redneck Christmas."
That somehow doesn't surprise me.
I like Santa Claus. He's watching you. He's watching you.
No, Ray Stevens got him beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ray Stevens has a lot of people beat.
Bye-bye, Red. Sorry about the phones. We don't mean them to be off, I assure you.
It says that it's on, but once we go 7 minutes, no one's called. There's usually a problem.
Well, let's see.
here.
We got them cranked up now. Hey, go ahead there, caller.
Hey, Debbie.
Yes.
Talking about Magic Chef, I worked there 10 years with your mom.
Yes.
One of our Christmas dinners, somebody sneaked a little vodka in her coffee. And, honey, she had the best time. They didn't do enough, to make it dangerous, but she was just having a good time in addition to the good time that she normally had. She never knew, and it was so funny.
Yeah, I imagine that she could get kind of loud.
Well, it was just comical, but how is she doing?
Well, she's in rehab at Signature, and she's made great progress, but we still have a little way to go. But she's still quite the funny lady. We had a crocheted hat on her yesterday because she was cold, and when I got ready to take it off of her last night, every piece of paper, every napkin, every straw, her hand lotion, and everything was in her hat.
How funny. And why is she there for rehab?
Well, she had double pneumonia.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of November, spent a couple of weeks in the hospital, and we're just trying to get her back on her feet.
Well, very good. Well, I wish her well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I don't think that's the only time I've heard of a little liquor being mixed in with stuff at a Magic Chef Christmas party.
But I was telling the story about Ashley a while ago, so I called Ron. I was crying. Oh, Ron, I think Ashley's drunk. She's 6. What am I going to do? He said, well, just give her a hot bath, put her to bed. She'll be okay. I got her in that bathtub, and she was going, jingle bells, jingle bells. And Ron got home, and she was flat out on the bed, snoring.
Go ahead, caller. You live.
Yes, Kansas asked about the Polk County Parade.
Yes, ma'am.
They're still having it. They're lined up. They're fixing to start at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, so you got time to get there.
So they need to be down close to downtown to see it?
Yeah, it's going to come right down the main street of town and cut back on by the, what is that down there?
Courthouse.
Or the bank.
Yeah, it's going to go to the courthouse and come back way around.
All righty. Thank you. I'm sure a lot of people will head that way.
Oh, there's already a crowd up here.
Woohoo. Good time and bidding today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Same to you. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Now, when we go off, we are going to play a song by Donna Branham, and we're going to also play, we got Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, and I've got Robert Earl King's Merry Christmas to the Family. We got to play that one more time. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, is that your favorite?
That's my favorite.
I'm in the mood. I need to see it now. And I laugh at the same parts every time like I've never seen it before.
My husband likes it, too.
I think for a funny Christmas movie, you just can't beat it.
I know. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I like the Andy Griffith one now where the old man,
That's a good one, too,
I love it.
I like where he says, just go ahead and arrest me. Yeah.
He wanted to be arrested. I love
look, I've got this extra, and it's just going to go to waste. I really like that one, too. Of course, it's hard to beat Andy Griffith for any season.
It is. I watch him over and over. And Gunsmoke, I love Gunsmoke.
Yep.
I was homesick one day in November, and I don't even know what channel I was on, but I watched those old Westerns all day.
We watch them all the time. My husband loves them.
Yeah. But I'm glad they put them back on.
Bonanza and Gunsmoke and Andy Griffith, I think that's our favorites.
Yeah.
I like 310 to Yuma. That's one of my favorite Westerns.
The Rifleman.
Yeah, the Rifleman, yeah.
We were watching the Rifleman the other day, and I was pretty amazed. I had forgotten what it was, looked like and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for being a listener, hon.
Okay.
Call back anytime.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Okay, Merry Christmas to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Arnold, that's been 2 hours there, and please, did my headphones go out or did I? Oh, I thought my microphone went off. Unplugged my headphones. I'm going.
Ron's having technical difficulties
Ron
today.
is having all kinds of technical difficulties.
We got another caller here. Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Brenda.
I've been trying to get through for a while, but I wanted to tell you all, I hope that you have a wonderful Merry Christmas.
We are going to.
And Arnold, you and your family too.
We will, Brenda. So does your family. Do y'all still get together anymore?
Yeah, we do.
Well, good. Tell everybody that knows me happy Merry Christmas too.
I sure will. And I just hope that everybody listening has a wonderful Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Brenda. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, Arnold, please give our sympathies to your wife and her family there. And 100 years, pretty good time.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hey, I was going to call. What about Gremlins, the first one?
Oh, well, yeah, that...
it scared me to death.
It takes place at Christmas.
Yeah,
of course, then I thought of a few people I'd like to give one of those to for Christmas.
Yeah, well, yeah.
One of my favorites is Scrooge with Bill Murray. I think y'all been talking about or mentioned that one, but
yeah, we mentioned a little earlier there, and of course, Sims' original version is one of a lot of people's favorites too.
You know, speaking of Bill Murray, we saw him. What was that FDR movie, Ron? Something on Hyde Park, the Hudson.
On Hyde Park.
Hyde Park on the Hudson. And believe it or not, he did a really nice, serious role and played FDR quite well.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, I was real impressed with him. Well, thank you.
Anytime. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye. You too. We watched just the other night when Charlie Brown's Christmas came on, everything stopped at our house. And I think one of my favorite parts of the Christmas story is when they're buying their tree. And this here is a good tree, you know.
Yeah.
Got to be able to negotiate.
Yeah, got to be able to.
And when they change the tire, I laugh every time.
Well, folks, that's been Old Town Cleveland here. Thank you for listening in and taking part. We'll be back again here next Saturday. I don't know what the program is next Saturday, to tell you the truth. I don't know if we have it booked or we don't remember. I don't know which one it is right now. But thank you so much.
We just don't remember.
And we always tell everyone that you need to get the old pictures from out from under the bed and out of the closets or shoe boxes where you have them. It's a really good time of year to do this because families get together and get the elderlies in your family and get them together to say this is who's in this picture and who's there and write those names down on there and bring out your recorders and record your grandmothers, your grandparents. We'll always remember about Pearl Harbor, but we may not remember about your Aunt Pearl.
Be sure to read The Night Before Christmas, too,
yes,
to somebody you love.
And also, just remember, folks, we may not know what happened on your street, in your neighborhood, or in your family unless you write it down. And history goes away every day, so
thanks,
we need
Arnold.
you to save it. Thanks, Arnold. And we'll see you next week.
We're going to play some
here
music. Hang around.
On Old Town Cleveland.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music. You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Mom got drunk and Dad got drunk at our Christmas party.